Howdy ho there, neighbors. It's coming up on Halloween time. Ghost stories and all that. Which makes me think of horror games. I've played a lot of them over the years. I'm, of course, fond of the classics. Call of Cthulhu is definitely a must-play for all gamers at some point or another. Even with its sort of archaic rules system, the basic concepts of Call of Cthulhu are the heart of a lot of horror gaming. I've played World of Darkness in various flavors, which most of the time didn't really strike to horror for me, mainly because you're playing the monster most of the time, and while playing the monster can have some horrific sides to it, you're also paired up with a certain amount of power, and it becomes a sort of power fantasy. So, that is a problem if you're trying to convey a sense of dread or fear. Now, one of the best horror games I ever played was at a convention, and it was Chill. Chill's a great system at the time. I don't remember much about the system at this point, but I remember really enjoying the game I played at a convention many years ago. I understand they're doing a Kickstarter now, so we may see some more Chill, which would be nice. I think it's a game that deserves to be re-released. So yeah, I've played a lot of horror games over the years. I've played some horror versions of D&D. I've played some Ravenloft. Played in a Cthulhu LARP at DragonCon one year. That was a lot of fun. That was kind of amazing. One of those strange intersections of really talented people coming together and just doing their thing. That sticks out in my head. I played a gangster. It led me to being typecast as a gangster for a while. Who knew? No, I thought I'd come on and at least, talk about horror games. I think horror games need to be able to convey a sense of not quite futility. Futility is maybe the wrong word, but an inevitable sense of dread. That it is not in any way an assumed thing that you will win. That it's entirely possible that the forces arrayed against you are so terrible and so vast, or so indecipherable that you have no means to counter them. And that ultimately you're fighting against inevitable death or inevitable madness. I think that makes for a good horror story in a game. But you have to make sure that everybody's on board with that. You need to make sure that everybody is got the same conception. If some people are there playing, sort of a classic Cthulhu, yeah, we're probably going to lose some people, and people are going to go insane, and we might not win. But that's Cthulhu. And you have some other people who are like, well, of course we're going to win. We watched Supernatural last week, and we loved it. And, of course, in Supernatural, the brothers always win. You've got to make sure your expectations match. And if your players want a, more of a we're heroes and we can defeat the evil kind of game, that's the game you probably should run. But a really good horror game goes the other direction to a certain extent. It goes with things that they don't understand, but they are certainly should give the impression that, as struggle as they might, they're probably going to lose. One of the Lovecraftian tropes is ultimately the things that they face in the Lovecraft stories are too vast, too incomprehensible for men to really do anything about. Oh, they might delay, they might pause, but ultimately the vast, terrible forces of the universe will crush any work of man. And I think that's a really compelling theme to be found in horror. It's not the only one, but I feel like the best horror games I ever played in had a certain amount of that. Anyway, that's my brief ramble on horror games. I will return you to your regularly scheduled Halloween ruminations. I hope everybody's having fun, and don't get bitten by zombies, because that apparently ends poorly.